Now, the movement of the sun, as I mentioned, is a division between day and night, light and dark. So what you will find is that right here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, because the Pacific Ocean is between Asia and the Americas, right? This is how it is because the earth is a circle. And let's look at this. Let's look at the book of Isaiah, chapter 40 and verse 22. It says, "It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth." What it means is that it doesn't mean that it's a ball, right? It's telling you that this is why we have this horizon, because everything is a circle. The sun travels around but above, right? So once you reach here, once you live in Alaska, out in the Pacific here, you are crossing over into a different time zone because that's where the division was made, right? And when you're crossing back over here in the Atlantic, it's going to be the same thing. So now let's track the sun. It says the movement of the sun. So here in the middle of the Pacific, what happens is the light is coming around this way. So guess what? This is why Japan and the islands in the seas, in the ocean over here, they are going to first get the first touch of daylight, because daylight comes from the movement of the sun, right? So Japan, Philippines, and Taiwan, these places, they are going to be first to get the light, and this is where they have their first hour. Right now, the north and the south, they are still under the same time zone, right? For example, if you're in Australia and someone is in Japan, even though one is in the north and one is in the south, guess what? You're still sharing the same time zone, you're still sharing the same date. It's the same thing over here in the west. If you're in Canada and someone is in South America, somewhere in South America, in Chile, Argentina, Paraguay, right? Guess what? They're still going to be the same time zone. Maybe just the hours are going to be a little bit different, but it's still the same, right? So when he says he divided the light from the dark, what happens is a division between the east and the west, right? Now again, let's look at hours, because it says the morning and the evening were the first day. Let's track the sun from here. Let's track the sun from here, say Africa, right? The sun is here in Africa and it's midday, right? It's midday in Africa. What you will realize is that when it's here coming across, we here in the Caribbean will be getting our first hour of the day, right? So crossing the Atlantic Ocean, this is when the day starts for us in the west. Crossing the Pacific Ocean, this is when the day starts for the people in the east, and that's the division of the day and the night. All right. Now, when the sun is overhead here and Africa is having midday, what we're seeing is we're seeing the sun coming from the east. We're in the Caribbean here. We are seeing the sun coming from the east. Now, if you should jump 6 hours ahead from here, what will actually happen is that the sun is now going to be over our heads here in the Caribbean, and this is our midday. So what is the next step? From the first hour to midday, you see the sun from the east to the what they call the zenith over our heads, right? Then the evening is from the zenith over our head towards the west, and the sun keeps going towards the west, right? And it says the evening and the morning, meaning from the east to over your head, morning. And from overhead to the west is what he calls a day. 12 hours of light. And let's go to the book of John to get some verification on that. John chapter 9, verse 11. It says, John chapter 11 and verse 9. It says, Jesus answered, Are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. So 12 hours from the first hour, let me write it here, from the first hour to the sixth hour is morning. From the seventh hour to the 12th is evening. The morning and the evening were the first day. And this is why you see what they use is these latitudes and longitudes and the degrees. Because if you're looking at a 360 degrees, again, it's a circle. This is why they have 360 degrees, right? So if you have a 0 here, means right here also is going to be 0, right? So 180 degrees here, you're going to get the 12 hours. So you're going to have like first hour, second hour, third hour, fourth hour, and so forth coming on. When you reach here, we are going to have the first hour here. So our number one will be start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, coming all the way. So 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night, right? And that makes a calendar date. And that is the movement of the sun. That is how it moves through each constellation. The more it goes to the north, that's when we get the longer days. The more it goes to the south, it's the opposite, right? The circuit of the year, the movement of the sun, the position of stars. That's it on that. Shalom.